welcome back to my channel. This is episode number 5 of the Globalisation revision series over here on my channel. Today we're going to be looking at switched on versus switched off countries and all that encompasses it. I hope you find this useful. If you do, please do subscribe down below. I upload these every single week on Mondays at 4:30 p.m. We're going through the whole geography specification. And yeah, this is episode number 5. If you want to go find the other topics we've done, so we've done glaciation and we've done tectonics, they are already in a playlist on my channel, so go find them as you will. And yeah, if you've missed the rest of the globalisation ones, go find that playlist too. They're all there so far. We're just working our way through the specification. And yeah, if you do know someone that you think this will be useful for, please do share it with them, subscribe down here, turn the notification bell on, leave me a like, leave me a comment, what you thought was useful, what topic you'd like me to cover next, and let's just get straight on into this. I'll go through the waffle again at the end, but yeah, let's just get straight on into this. A two-speed world. Globalisation has opponents as well as supporters. Those in favour of globalisation claim that it increases connectedness, becoming switched on. It improves many countries' economic development, which in turn leads to a higher standard of living for their citizens. Those against globalisation argue that it leads to corrupt practices, and also that some countries and people are left behind. They are being left switched off. Globalisation thus creates a two-speed world. Degrees of globalisation. As countries become more globalised, certain characteristics or indicators change. These include flows, such as a higher volume of international trade, more migration of people, more foreign direct investment. Technologies. Increasing internet usage, flows of information and telecommunications. 3. Movement, such as an increased international air traffic. And 4. Media. The spread of global advertising, publishing, music, TV and film. These indicators improve connections, which are the basis of globalisation. The more connected that a place becomes, the smaller the differences between them will be. Distance between the places will shrink, and the best connected places will become switched on. How degrees of globalisation vary. Countries and cities can be ranked according to their degree of globalisation. Data from a broad range of indicators are used to compile an index, which measures how globalised a country has become. The KOF, the KOF and the Kearney indexes are two such measurements. Measuring globalisation, the KOF, the KOF index. Each year, the Swiss Economic Institute produces the annual index of globalisation, known as the KOF index. KOF is an index of a German word, which I'm not going to be able to pronounce, which means Business Cycle Research Institute. The results for 2015 go as follows. So in 2015, the most globalised countries were Ireland, the Netherlands, Belgium, Austria and Singapore. And the least globalised countries were the Solomon Islands, Somalia, Kiribati, Laos and Eritrea, which I've actually never heard of. The KOF index for each country is calculated using specific interactions, grouped like this. The first group is economic globalisation, such as cross-border transactions and the volume of FDI. The second group is social globalisation, such as cross-border contact, telephone calls, letters and tourists, as well as foreign residents. And information flows such as internet, TV and press. It also measures the presence of McDonald's and IKEAs as indicators of global affinity, which is so cool. And then the third group is political globalisation. This is the number of foreign embassies in the country and a country's membership of different international organisations such as the World Trade Organization, which we touched on a couple of videos ago, and its participation in UN peacekeeping activities. Each set of indicators in each group is scaled or weighted because some indicators are more significant than others, such as the volume of FDI. The 3 sets of indicators are then each aggregated into one value of economic, social and political interactions, which are then ranked. The index rankings and scores that we've just spoken about represent the final average for all 3 interactions. The index shows that 13 of the top 15 countries are European, which contrasts with tables of GDP where the USA leads, or manufacturing output where China leads. The KOF index measures international interactions. European countries are small compared to China and the US, so every country has embassies, its own internet systems, investments, which are all recorded as transactions. By contrast, China and the USA have large domestic economic markets, so internal connections are important, but these do not count in the KOF interactions. The second measure of globalization is the Kearney index. By contrast, the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace think tank also publishes a globalization index called the Kearney index. It identifies 4 main indicators from which to calculate its index. 1. Political engagement. This is a country's participation in international treaties and organisations, as well as peacekeeping organisations. 2. Technological connectivity. This is the number of internet users, hosts and servers. 3. Personal contact. Through telephone calls, travel, remittance payments. These are payments sent home from overseas by migrants. And 4. Economic integration. This is the volume of international trade and FDI. The Kearney Index top performers for 2015 across the 4 indicators were Singapore, Switzerland, the USA and Ireland. The index is slightly different to that of the KOF index because it uses more holistic indicators, such as the number of web servers rather than the internet communications, and also volumes of trade as well as the FDI. It includes countries that are players on the political stage, and so the participation of the UK and Ireland as international treaties is recognised. The overall ranking is worked out using a complex point and weighting system for the 4 indicator rankings. Let's talk about switched off countries. What are the barriers facing sub-Saharan Africa? Many African countries have received FDI for years. The 2 case studies that we're about to talk about investigate progress in Zambia and Tanzania. Both are former British colonies and demonstrate the physical, political, economic and environmental reasons why some countries are struggling to switch on. For example, mobile connections in sub-Saharan Africa are growing rapidly. They are much cheaper than landlines, but the cost of 3G and 4G connections make internet usage expensive, more expensive than just sending one text. Let's talk about Zambia. Zambia is the world's 8th largest producer of raw and part processed copper. However, it's a landlocked country, it has no coast, and so it relies on good political connections with its neighbours to access ports on the Tanzania or Angolan coasts by rail. In the 1970s, a 1,860 kilometre rail link, the Tanzam Railway, developed using Chinese investment, took Zambia's copper to the Tanzanian coast. Although by 2000 this rail link was in poor repair, further Chinese investment has now upgraded it, and as a result copper exports have risen since 2008. The recently developed Benguela rail link, also paid for by the Chinese, now carries copper for export to the Angolan coast. Copper remains Zambia's biggest export, although the value has fallen in recent years as fibre optic cables increasingly replacing telecommunications. Since 2000, privatisation and debt cancellation has reduced Zambia's debt, and $20 billion of FDI have been invested into the copper industry, so it can part process the ore and add value to it, increasing the country's income. Expanding copper towns like Kitwe have started a process of helping localities in Africa to switch on, and Zambia's development indicators have improved as a result. Now let's talk about Tanzania. Tanzania has very fertile volcanic soils, and 80% of its working population is employed in agriculture. However, during the 10-year period from 2006 to 2016, the global market price for one of its main crops, raw cotton, fluctuated from just $40 per pound weight to $2. When prices are high, Tanzanian farmers felt encouraged to grow cotton. However, due to global overproduction, cotton prices frequently fall, When this happens, the country is less able to pay for imported manufactured goods. There is no guarantee of income and GDP fluctuates, so Tanzania is struggling to switch on. Until 2001, Tanzania had serious debt problems. Then the Global Heavily Indebted Poor Countries initiative led to the cancellation of many of its debts. Now the income gained from growing cotton and other export crops is helping the country to invest in its schools and healthcare and improve the development indicators. Tanzania has been growing investment links with China, India, Japan and the United Arab Emirates in order to export its farm produce and mineral resources. And that is the end of episode number 5 of the Globalisation series. I hope you learned something. I hope you found it useful. Please do subscribe down below. I upload these every week on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Please do share with a friend if you think they'd find it useful. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you same time, same place next week, Monday, 4:30 p.m. Be there, be square. Hit the subscription thing, turn the bell on, give me a like, leave me a comment if you'd like to see anything else in the future, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.